I want to discuss this upcoming fight with David Morrell and Benavidez. David Morrell, he comes from a Cuban background, amateur background. He have a very high boxing IQ, and quite frankly, he have a very strong punch. He hits very hard. I think he put one of his opponents in a coma and had him serious hurt. I think it was like two opponents back to back where he was knocking them out like they have to leave in a stretcher or whatever. So that means he have one punch power out the meat rack. Bah! You know what I'm saying? Very strong punch. Them punches was like, it would just be one punch, boom. And he's fighting David Benavidez. I think David Benavidez, he have power, but I don't think he have that one out of nowhere power like David Morrell. Now for David Morrell, he have to set that up with some boxing. And that's when it gets tricky, because he might not be able to catch David Benavidez with that boom, 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 and then bah! You know what I'm saying? But I think in order for David Morrell to beat David Benavidez, he'll have to box. Boom, boom, hit him, boom, boom, get out the way. Somewhat like what Boo Boo Andre did, but in his own style. Not how Boo Boo Andre was doing it, in his own style, which is stand up, jab, woo, 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 like that. So I think that's the way he can beat him. And another key thing for David Morrell to beat him, he's going to have to be able to endure David Benavidez power. If he cannot handle that power, it's nothing in the world that he can do to beat this guy. If he don't have it in his mind that, hey, look, if I taste that power, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win this fight, he will not beat David Benavidez. He's going to have to fight behind his jab, box a lot, and then because it's going to get tricky, because the fight it's going to get off hands, and David Benavidez is going to come with all he got. When the fight go there and he got to go to that dark place, is he willing to go to that dark place? And he might not have to go to that dark place depending on how good his boxing really is. We don't know, because we haven't seen him in a situation where we have to display his boxing. And quite frankly, if we judge by his last fight, his boxing is not all the way there. So I would assume that he would have to go to that dark place at least 2 or 3 times in that fight, where he's going to have to put his hands right here and just fight like a madman. Not necessarily to win the rounds, just to stay in the fight. So, in the later rounds, he can try to steal those rounds, because I think he can win the early rounds. Then in the middle of the fight, it's going to get tricky. And this is how I think David Benavidez can win that fight. In order for David Benavidez to win that fight, what David Benavidez is going to have to do is just be David Benavidez. Throw a lot of punches, make the fight ugly, make it tough, try to hit him, go to the body, push him back, make it an ugly fight. It's nothing he has to do to make the fight pretty to win him the fight. He has to make this an ugly fight. Don't worry about boxing. Don't worry about nothing. Fight with the intentions of knocking them out. Fight with the intentions knowing that you have to train like you fighting a 20-round fight, like you fighting a 15-round fight, because you're going to have to throw a lot of punches versus this guy to beat him. You're going to have to get close and do what you did to Boo Boo Andre. The same style when you went to throwing them hooks, that's what you're going to have to do to David Morrell. Now, my prediction for this fight is, I think David Benavidez is going to beat him. And I'm Cuban. I always for my Cuban people. But there's only been one Cuban, well, I'm going to say 2. Since I've been in the United States, there's only been one Cuban I came after Casamayor era. After the Casamayor era, I came down here in the Yurioski Gamboa type of era, after him era, or Lanier Solis type of era. So there's only been one Cuban that has never, but not that has never disappointed, that didn't disappoint. There's only been one Cuban that I felt like he lived up to his expectations and more. And that's Erislan De Lara. I think that Erislan De Lara is the only one that hasn't disappointed. And somewhat, I would say, Guillermo Reondao. Because what he did to Nonito Linares when Nonito was at the top of the mountain. But it's like when Cubans get to a certain, when they fight that one fighter, they always lose. It's like, but it's a good thing that David Morrell is catching this guy early. So we can't say, oh, it was too late. Oh, it was this. How we always make the excuse for the Cubans. Oh, it was too late. Oh, it was this. Nah, he fought him at the right time. Cubans don't need 30 fights before they go for a good fight. Cubans need 10 fights and then boom, soccer to their ass. That's all I got to say. But I think David Benavidez is going to pull it off. I think that David Benavidez is going to make him look bad. But if David Morrell put it in his mind before the fight, I will die in this ring, he can win. Now, hear me out. I don't condone in no fighting saying, no, I'm going to die in this ring. No. I want everybody to go home to their family and be good. But when you are a boxer, that's the mentality you have to have. Because even if you don't have that mentality, you can possibly get seriously hurt up and up. So you got to have the mentality, hey, I'm a dog and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. If he has that mentality installed in his brain, like when you forget everything, like let's say he get hit by a punch, boom, and you forget everything that ever happened in your life. If that's truly your dog mentality, that's going to be still in you. Somebody going to have to protect you from yourself. That type of, when you forget everything, do somebody got to protect you from yourself, like how Devin Haney did? When Devin Haney was on the ground 6 times, he got up every time. Every time. And that's not something that you can wake up one day and say, this is who I am. That's something you got to be born with. That's something that got to be installed in your DNA. Does he have it? Because if he have it, we'll see a great fight. If he don't have it, early night for him. That's all I got to say, man. Cuba Capone, man. Cuba Capone boxing, man. Y'all, if y'all want to hate, whatever y'all want to do, subscribe, woody wop. I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm only giving y'all my opinion. My opinion not always going to be right, but I'm going to try to stick to being truthful to what I know, to my common sense. As far as this, what I've been through. Like, boom. I got hit one time. Boom. My body did locked up like this. I couldn't move. You know what I'm saying? And it was a real fight. But a lot of people ain't never been in no fight to know what actually happens when you get struck by a lethal punch. That's all I got to say, man. Cuba Capone still strong, man. Till the day I'm gone, man. I'm a holler.